Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you. Now this isn't just a typical Q&A. This is a birthday Q&A. So I am turning 31 today. It is January 18th and I thought what better way to celebrate than to give you 31 questions about me and also my opinions on things, mostly bookish related, and just other facts, Yeah, so I'm super excited. Yeah, like I said, it's my birthday, and oh my gosh, today was such a fun day. I'm glad that I also worked today because today was a lot of fun at work. A customer asked if it was heard it was my birthday, and then she shouted to everyone in the store. And then a bunch of people just started singing happy birthday to me in the store, which was so sweet of everyone. Anyway, you guys, let's get but before we do get started, I'm going to share with you what I'm currently reading like I usually do, and that is Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. Now, Jessie Mae, if you're familiar with Jessie's channel, Jessie Mae, and Elle from Elliot Brooks, they are doing a long list of buddy reads for the year where they're going to read a book a month, and then they're going to be doing a live show on it, and this was the first one for January. And I have started this. I'm like 80 something pages in, 88. So not very far into it, but I'm enjoying it so far. Basically, this is about a young man named Kieran who grew up in the slums of Kerr. And one day he finds out that he is actually a long-lost prince. Yeah, he's the long-lost son of a lord who's committed treason. And he's claimed against his will. And in the story, I guess, Kieran navigates or tries to navigate life now with his new family. But being a royal comes with a lot of crazy power moves and political craziness that his family just keeps doing over and over from what I've read in the synopsis. In the synopsis, it said that he's going to destroy his family and the empire within. So that is a cool twist on the storyline, and I'm looking forward to getting to that part officially. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot except for what I have read in the synopsis and what I've read in the book so far, but it's getting quite good. All right, you guys. I have a whole list of questions. There's 31, like I said. Maybe a little more because there are some two-parters that I just roped together because the questions are similar. Oh, and some of the questions mention booktubers or people on the Shelf Space Discord who said them, and just give them a shout out. And also, if they have a channel, I will link their channel in the description so that you can go check them out. The first question comes from Stephanie, and her channel is Mrs. Richards Reads. And Stephanie is super cool, by the way. You should check her out. Like I said, she's super sweet and really funny. I think she's really funny. Alright, her question was, if you could have any magical companion, who or what would it be? And I have two answers for this. I really thought about this actually. One of my magical companions would be a witch or a warlock, and a phoenix. Now, I say witch or warlock because growing up, I've always loved reading about witches and wizards and warlocks and stuff like that. I don't know, I just find something fascinating about, um, witchcraft and like fantasy and just the characters that are come out of that, those storylines. And then Phoenix because Harry Potter with the fox, the phoenix. Love that bird. And I mean, obviously, when you get hurt, you're gonna want like the phoenix, to be near you because their tears have healing powers. So why not? Because yeah, I'm clumsy. All right, the second question is from Kisti from Kisti Reads. She's a super good friend. Like she's my ACOTAR buddy right now. So like I haven't really found the time to talk to her fully about the final book, at least ACO War. So I'm gonna find time. We might talk about it today since I have today off. But yeah, she's my ACOTAR buddy. Her question was, What got you into reading fantasy? And this question is kind of a emotional thing for me because it wasn't a thing. It was a person. My nana, my grandmother, my nana. She introduced me. Well, she bought me my first Harry Potter book when I was like, I think the first book came out in like 1997 or 8, something like that. So I was like 7 or 8 years old. And yeah, it was the first major like chapter book, I think. At least book over 300 pages, yeah, that I read. Is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And so the Harry Potter series has a sentimental value for me because my nana and I bonded over it, and despite everything J.K. Rowling has said and done, I still love the series. Um, yeah, because it holds a lot of sentimental value for me, and but I'm but yeah, screw J.K. Rowling. Had to say that. But yeah, that's what got me into fantasy. Is my nana bought me the first Harry Potter book, and then ever since that time, every year we would go get. Every time they would come out, we would go get them. She would pick me up. We would spend the day together, and then midnight we'd go get it from the midnight release parties, and then I'd read it at her and spend the night and read it at her house. Okay, our next question comes from Lyyra. She's a sweetheart, by the way. Her question is, what were your favorite books as a child? And I have many, but the few that I want to mention are Junie B. Jones. She is such a hilarious character. Junie B. Jones was, or is, a book series about a young girl who is like, at least the first several books she's in kindergarten. And then I think in the current books, I don't have any of the current books, but I've seen them around. She's in like second or third grade now. So, yeah, because the author is still writing them, and they're just small, short books, but they're fun to read. And then I also read, I think it's called The Magic Treehouse. Those books were fun too. And of course, Harry Potter, and Artemis Fowl. Those were some huge series I read, or books I read as a kid. question number 4. This comes from my good friend Matt, and you'll find this question interesting. What soap opera would you star in if you had the chance? Now, that should tell you a lot. I love soap operas. I think it's amazing what those actors do. I mean, they have to they get the script and they have a certain amount of hours to learn the script, and then they rehearse they film it the next day. I think it's pretty crazy. I have a background in theater, and one of my dreams is to either write for film and television or even be in it, because I also do acting. And yeah, and I've done some filming before, so yeah, my ultimate dream, if I were had a chance to star in a soap opera, would be the American soap opera General Hospital. I love that soap opera. I've watched it since I was like 9. And then uh 2 UK soaps that I absolutely love are Hollyoaks and Emmerdale. For those of you who are on the Shelf Space Discord, Emmerdale is Bay. I can't remember who said that, but yeah, it's Bay for me too, because oh my god, I love that show. Okay, question number 5. What is my favorite fantasy book trope? And that's an easy one. My favorite fantasy book trope is the quest trope, I guess is what they call it. It's where you get a bunch of different people from different backgrounds together who most of the time don't like each other, but they have to deal with each other because they're going on a quest together. Whether it's uh, going on a journey to commit like a major heist, or going on a journey to destroy some object, like the Lord of the Rings, how they have to destroy the ring in the I forget where the mountain is that's called, that they have to destroy it in. But yeah, it's crazy book. Um but yeah, and like Six of Crows, where they have to commit a major heist and break somebody out of a major maximum security prison. Question 6. What is your favorite book trope? That is easy. The miscommunication book trope. And now I know a lot of people do not like the miscommunication trope, but I enjoy it because, I mean, obviously I'm a theater person, so I love the drama and the storytelling that happens within the miscommunication trope, because a lot of great things come out of it. And then another reason why I really love it is because how it gets resolved in the end. Usually, most of the time, if it's done well, like characters will come to a great solution in their relationship, whether it's friendship or whatever, or a romantic relationship, or even parents, you know, like just a lot of good writing happens with the miscommunication trope most of the time. Favorite series of all time. Now, I've read a few book series, not a whole lot, because there's a lot of book series that I have left unfinished. But out of the ones I have read, my favorite book series of all time is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. If you didn't know, I am a Cassandra Clare stan. I love her writing style and the Shadowhunter world. You probably don't see it, but one of my upper shelves has like a bunch of the Shadowhunter books. So yeah, I'm a huge fan. Infernal Devices is set in one of my favorite eras in the 19th century. So yeah, I love it. And then of course the magic system and the characters themselves in that story. Oh, so good. Favorite authors. That's an easy one. I read a lot of different types of genres, but my favorite authors, obviously Cassandra Clare is one of them. She's my favorite YA fantasy author. And then favorite thriller author is Dean Koontz. I love Dean Koontz. Anything he writes is basically an instant buy for me. I'll have to show you my lower shelf, or even just the books in general. I have tons of his books. Half of them are still left unread. Yeah, that's really sad, I know. And then I also love Jim Butcher and Lee Bardugo. And there's quite a few. Oh, and Khaled Hosseini, I think is how you say his name. He wrote one of my favorite books of all time, The Kite Runner. And then he wrote A Thousand Splendid Suns, which I hope to get to this year. He's basically known for writing historical fiction, which is another one of my favorite all time genres in the book world. So, yeah. Next question is, where am I from? I am from Arizona. I was born here and raised here my whole entire life. I still live here, obviously. But yeah, what I can say about Arizona is it's hot, like a huge percent of the time, but it's home. So, and I do plan on eventually leaving Arizona at some point. Just gotta find the funds because I would love to live in New York. Oh, this okay. The next couple questions are food related, and one of my friends, I think, one of my friends on Shelf Space came up with this. She basically said ranch or blue cheese, and that I was like, that is a valid point, valid question, because uh, I'm someone who definitely loves their condiments, and I choose ranch. I love me some ranch. I put it on a lot of different items. A lot of things that I'm not going to mention to you because I don't want you to judge me for that. And I tried blue cheese again for like the second or third time just to try it because we have a bottle of blue cheese in the fridge. I put it on some fries. That was a big mistake because blue cheese tastes nasty. Real nasty. I don't get why people like it. But yeah, don't like blue cheese. Love ranch. On to the next question. Ranch on pizza? I love it. Ranch on pizza is the bomb. And if anyone says that it's disgusting, you're wrong. Okay? That's just my opinion. But you're wrong. I love ranch on pizza. It tastes so good. Now if you said ketchup on pizza, I would have been like, no. No, 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 no. Ranch on pizza is where it's at. Okay, this next one is kind of like a reflecting type thing, and it's someone on the Shelf Space Discord wanted me to reflect on 2020, at least how it was for me. And to tell you the truth, guys, I did not. After a while, I didn't want to watch TV anymore in 2020 because it was always something so negative and so frustrating at the same time. So yeah, I didn't watch much movies or TV, and I'm actually okay with that because I got a lot of reading done. I mean, I read 37 books, which was an accomplishment for me because I'm usually so busy that I can't read as much as I want to. But yeah, I read 37 books, and obviously part of that has contributed to the fact that I didn't watch much TV or movies. So, and I'm not regretting that because 2020 was a disaster, and I got depressed for a bit of it, especially around the time when the death of George Floyd happened. Let me tell you, as a person of color and everything that was happening at that time, I was completely and utterly like disappointed in law enforcement. I mean, I could go into it, but I'm not gonna go super into it because yeah, I don't want to make this Q&A a very sad Q&A. That's probably gonna be another video I'm gonna to dive into. All right. And the next question is, what can I do differently in 2021? I think this goes for a lot of us, and I'd say be more communicative. I usually don't have a super huge problem with being super communicative. Like, I usually talk to people when I need to talk to them, or, well, talk to them when I want to talk to them. But I mean, 2020 made it kind of hard since, like, we were all on lockdown and we could barely talk to each other or see each other face to face. There was Zoom. I will say that Zoom was a lifesaver, but like there's just some people that, especially if you were on social media, you wanted to turn those people off, or at least the ones that were just super negative and horrible with their comments. And a lot of people, I'll say, um, at least for me, I lost a few friends because of just like some horrible things I'm not going to get into. But yeah, be more communicative. That's one thing. Okay, this next question, there's actually two questions that are similar, but I'm going to answer them separately. So this one also comes from Kisti, from Kisti Reads. She's super awesome. I'm going to link her channel down in the description. Which fictional world would you jump in? And then the other question is, which character would you switch lives with? And first, the fictional world I would jump in, first off, would be the world of Twilight in Forks. And I wouldn't jump in just for the sake of like enjoying myself. I would jump in to talk some sense into Bella. I'd be like, girl, what are you doing? That's what I said during my read through of this book series for the second time. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, wake up. Come on. Like, these two guys that you are like dealing with, both of them are tools in certain ways. And you need to get away from them. You don't need a man to like you don't need a man. You just need yourself. And yeah. Oh. Yeah, and which character would you switch lives with? I would say Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Magnus Bane is a warlock, for those of you who don't know, in the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. He is a badass character, one that you do not want to piss off because he's very powerful. I mean, he's high warlock. So, yeah. And plus, He's dating one of my favorite characters in the Shadowhunter series, Alec. This next question, I'm gonna answer them both. First of all, uh, what do you do for work? I work at Goodwill. I am a cashier at Goodwill Industries. If you don't know what Goodwill is a thrift store, and we also do a lot of charity uh, outreach and just like giving giving back to the community. Like we have a Goodwill Career Center, which helps those who have lost their jobs find a way to get another job and stay, out of poverty. And we're also in the midst of building a school, um, but prefer that is primarily going to help those who didn't get their high school diploma get their GED. So, yeah, we're doing some great things with the company. I've been with Goodwill for almost 2 years. The next question is, what are some of your hobbies? Some of my hobbies. Well, I love to read, obviously, and I love to write. I have been trying to write a book for a few years. Last year I actually did a seminar where I got more courage to write and do stuff with it. Like I think I wrote like a whole couple chapters of my first book, and yeah, so there's a whole writing community on the Shelf Space Discord, and I don't know why I have not really gotten myself more involved in that. I should, and there is no excuse for that. I mean, my best friend, one of my best friends that I had in high school, he released his first book back in November, and I'm reading it right now. It's called The Legacy of the Highborn. I'll put it up right here, so that you guys can see what it looks like. It's on Amazon right now. Go check it out. It's really good so far. And then also like I I admire people like Andrew J. Stillman. He's another self published author, and also a guy that I'm happy to call friend on the Shelf Space Discord. I'll link his channel in the description. Get right on in. That's right. I'm sorry. His channel, Andrew's channel, Get Right On In. He's a really cool guy and super funny, and he has a lot of important things to say. All right, the next question is, what is a book you wish you wrote? Honestly, I wish I wrote The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I have it right here, actually. Hold on. Britt Bennett has become one of my favorite authors that I like have the privilege of reading from. This is her second book called The Vanishing Half. It's about twin sisters who are light-skinned African Americans, and they basically run away from their hometown and start living life on their own, and they eventually part ways, and one of the sisters goes off and lives like a life passing as a white person, and the other sister goes back to their hometown, and it just gives you great detail of their life as like they get older and with their own children that they raise. And it's a super fantastic series or book. It talks about obviously race, identity, and there's a trans character in here, I believe. Oh, it's such a good book. No wonder it got Book of the Year on Book of the Month. Oh, so good. 5-star book easily. And everyone should read this because it's so important to today's society. And I'm definitely gonna pick up her other book called Oh Mother. Oh Mothers, I think it's called. Next question is favorite female and male protagonist in a Cassandra Clare book. Alright, this is a good one. Favorite female protagonist ever is Cordelia Carsters, who is the main female character in the new Cassandra Clare series called The Last Hours. Book 1, called Chain of Gold, came out last year. Loved it. Loved Cordelia. She's a badass. And my favorite female character. I'm so sorry, Tessa, but well, you and Cordelia are tied. But like, yeah, Cordelia is hands down like my fave. And then also my favorite male character in the Shadowhunter world is Jem Carsters from Infernal Devices. Oh, I just love him. He's a good friend to all the other characters, and he's just like he gets it's so funny when he gets angry. I love it when he gets angry because he doesn't even mean to, but like it happens because there's just some things you don't do. Anyway, he's Jem is precious and should be protected. All right. Question number 21, favorite genre or favorite genres? Historical fiction, fantasy obviously, and thriller are is to name a few. Next one is favorite TV shows and movies. Well, obviously my favorite sitcom of all time is Friends. I know that's like an answer that a lot of people give, but I mean Friends was a huge show that like is still huge to this day and reaching all different types of audiences. It's fantastic the dynamic between all the actors who play the six friends. Oh gosh, my favorite show or comedy of all time. I also love this show too, The Big Bang Theory. I actually haven't finished this yet. I am going to do a rewatch of the first 6 seasons because I've seen the first 6 seasons all the way through pretty much. And then I'm going to continue on finishing the series once and for all. And of course, I love dramas. So, Brothers and Sisters is a show about obviously a lot of the main characters are brothers and sisters. They're part of the family called the Walkers, and there's political drama in here, and there's obviously talk of like sexuality and religion and just all different types of stuff that are touched in this book or in this TV show. And it's so powerful too how they all come together every time something goes wrong. And last but not least, one of my other favorite shows, Grimm. This is one of my favorite fantasy series. TV shows of all time. Favorite book in the Shadowhunter Chronicles? That is easily Clockwork Princess. Beautifully written, and the best book that I've ever, well, one of the best books in this, like, whole universe of the Shadowhunter world that I read. Loved it. Alright, you guys know that I'm a theater person, and I have a favorite play on here. And my favorite play or plays are A Raisin in the Sun and All My Sons, and also a Shakespearean play that I love, A Midsummer Night's Dream, one of my all-time favorite Shakespearean plays ever. And then favorite musical. That's easy. Favorite musical is Rent. Love that show. Oh, I have favorite TV show on here twice, but I'm going to answer it again to give you a different answer of stuff that I watch. Another favorite TV show of mine, which I have not finished in its entirety, is Supernatural. Oh, God, so good. Oh, and then FBI on CBS. That's another great one that I absolutely love. And then, okay, so I'm a huge coffee drinker. I drink a lot of iced coffee mostly. And my favorite drink is the Caramel Blondie at Black Rock Coffee Bar. Love that place. Love the workers. Great people. And I love the coffee. Super fantastic. Black Rock in your state or city that you live in, go check them out. Fantastic coffee. And they also have tea and other things. This next question is, if you could be friends with any fictional character, who would it be? I'd say, like always, like I said before earlier, Jem. Jem is a sweetheart, and he's such a cool guy. Someone who obviously you don't want to make angry, but such a cool guy, and very, very protective of his friends. So, definitely would want to be his best friend because, yeah, he's the bomb. Question 30. We're almost there, you guys. If you could read only one book for the rest of your life, what would it be? The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I know I've mentioned this earlier, but oh my gosh, this book, oh, so good. I love the relationships between the characters, and just like it's so powerful and gut wrenching. And it's a historical fiction novel, so my favorite book of all time. What is the first book you fell in love with? That's my last question. And the first book that I fell in love with, like really fell in love with, I mean there's tons, but like in high school, I feel like reading for me changed in a good way. And The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I love that book. Like, it hits on some heavy, hard-hitting subjects. I mean, especially because the time period it's in. But yeah, super fantastic book. I don't know why I don't own a copy of it. It's a super amazing classic that I love. And Of Mice and Men is another one that I absolutely love and I fell in love with in high school. Anyway, you guys, that was my birthday Q&A. Please hit the like and subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. And also ring the bell to get notified whenever I release another video. Anyway, you guys, I shall see you later.